Moments with Puz, brought to you by Get Your Ass to Work, something that everyone can enjoy. Now on to the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast, Get Your Ass to Work. Today we've got a special guest here. We've got David Huffman, the Huff, who's also has his own podcast, Sales Talk Uncensored. And we brought him in because he is a social media guru. He will help you jack up your business. You guys want more business? Yeah, I want more business too. So that's why we brought him on here. But we want to talk a little bit about David's background. And you mentioned something today while we were offline. Said that you dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. You've got a 9th grade education. Is that true?
Yeah, so first, thanks for having me on the Get Your Ass to Work podcast. It's absolutely great to be here. And it's true, and it goes beyond that. I actually got expelled on my 18th birthday. So as soon as I turned 18 and the school said, fuck you, we don't have to teach you anymore, they called me up and like, hey, you can't come back. And I'm like, it's totally fine because I never showed up anyways. But yeah, so I was never huge into school, like not at all. And it's funny because yesterday I was actually writing my book, and I had to bring this up, and I had to relive a lot of this, and relive the moments of, okay, well, school sucks. School's a traumatizing experience. I was bullied at school because I couldn't talk until I was 6. That's really what it came down to. Is I couldn't talk until I was 6. School wasn't fun. Never enjoyed school. So by the time 9th grade came around, and my 3rd or 4th time repeating 9th grade, I said, screw this, and dropped out. So it's really crazy because to sit down and drop out in 9th grade and stuff, and to see where I was, and like I said, when I was writing my book yesterday, I had to relive a lot of this, and to see where I'm going and to see where I'm at, it's just been a tremendous change.
Yeah, you're at this point, you've been into your career for a while now. You're a successful entrepreneur. You're doing your social media business, and I've always, I wouldn't say always, but definitely within the last 10 years, I've come to the conclusion, fuck college. And fuck school in general for the most part. Now, I'm not talking if you need a professional degree to become a doctor, lawyer, there's some education that you can't get around. But for us entrepreneurs and salespeople, I find almost, I'm not going to say zero, but I'm going to say almost zero fucking value in going to school or going to business school to get a degree from people who have failed at business or are not even in the entrepreneurial realm, trying to teach you how to be a fucking business owner. I don't know. Do you agree with any of that?
Yeah, so for me, it's actually the 40-year, I don't even know if it's a rule or what to call it, right? Because I can't remember. But it's let's call it the 40 rule, right? You work 40 years to retire on 40% of what you couldn't survive on. It's a broken system.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. And the thing with the school is the school sits down and it shows you how to be complacent, and it guarantees the government is making money. The government wants you in school, right? Because it controls you. It guarantees you're making money and stuff along those lines. But people go to school, and they go to school to learn the skill set. And a lot of these people don't even use the skill set after school. And they go to school to bring this value to the marketplace. But at the end of the day, they're not creating leverage, and they're still trading their time for money. And trading your time for money is a losing situation. And the thing with school is the school doesn't even show you this shit. The school doesn't want you to learn this shit because, again, the school and the government wants you in school. So, yes, I think schooling is 100% bullshit for the most part. Don't get me wrong. We need lawyers and doctors and accountants because when I get hurt, I need to be fixed. And I need bean counters to fix my taxes and settle lawsuits and shit. But for the average person and for the entrepreneur and for the sales professional, school is an absolute waste of time.
Right. Yeah, and this is a sales professional podcast. These are podcasts for people who want to go out there and get more, don't want to work the 9 to 5, which is certainly something that I just can't fucking do, and was never liked
about it.
Yeah.
Like me waking up and going to waking up and knowing, hey, I hate my boss. I hate my job. I hate this commute going into work. I don't want to do any of this shit. And knowing that I have to go and I have to do it. And guess what? At the end of 8 hours, I'm going to make the same no matter what. If I have the best day of my life, if I have the worst day of my life, it blows my mind. And I sit down and know that, because for me, I've always I've always known that I can outwork you. That's the bottom line. I've always been confident in it. So, in the past, when I sat down and I had a job and I went and I clocked in at this job and I seen Bill next to me half-assing and getting paid the same amount, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, the whole 9 to 5 thing, what was so depressing to me was that it was 9 to 5. I'm like, I want to work 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then I want to work another 12 hours after that whenever I fucking feel like it and not be written up at my job for having 20 minutes of overtime when there's a rule that you can't have any fucking overtime and have to deal with when you have to be there, when you have to clock out. Some of these corporations are fucking unbelievable. And they wonder why their people are trained robots and unproductive. But a whole nother topic. Let's get into where I feel that you're definitely an expert at, and that's the social media world. First question is, how did you get into that? And then we'll get into a few questions about where people are fucking up in their social media when they're trying to be entrepreneurial and business minded. Tell us about how you got into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So me and social media, we have this weird connection. Growing up, I'm a simple redneck from Wisconsin. I was brought up thinking that $15 an hour was all that I could get. And it's funny because with the online stuff, and you mentioning, the depressing part about 9 to 5 is 9 to 5. That's one of the reasons why I focus so much with online, with social media, and with different aspects of my business is because I don't have to clock out.
24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah, hands down. Like, it's not uncommon for me to wake up at 6 a.m. and be replying to messages until 11 p.m. Like, it's lovely. I love it. But me and how I got to social media and got to where I am was a weird transition. So my mom was a Yahoo Messenger chat whore. Like, that's the bottom line. Half a dozen of her ex-husbands came from Yahoo Messenger. I really wish I was joking, but I'm not. And it's funny because you chuckle and I'm chuckling too because it's hilarious. So I always had this weird connection with the internet and understanding how the internet can bring people together. So when MySpace came out, I used MySpace for networking opportunities. And of course, by opportunities, I mean partying, let's be honest here. And I had my family, and I had my wife, and I had my daughter. And I realized, hey, I need a job. Well, what can I do if I got a 9th grade education, if I'm not educated, if I'm dumber than a box of rocks and a simple redneck from Wisconsin? Well, damn it, I can talk to people. I can sell shit. Why not? So it's 2008, and I'm trying to sell stuff, and two things happened in 2008. Well, one thing happened in 2008. The market crashed, which led to two other things. People were spending less money, and companies were spending less money. So less people are coming in, and the people that came in, less were buying. So I realized, hey, I need leads. So in 2008, I actually became a professional spammer because, I needed sales and I needed leads, and I seen Facebook as a tool to do that. So I started spamming, and I was god-awful. I was completely terrible. But I sold my very first product back in 2008 on social media. It was actually back when I was personal training at Gold's Gym, way over in Maryland. And I was watching Bigger, Stronger, Faster, which is this movie about steroids, like fantastic movie. It has Mark Bell and Mike Bell and stuff like that. And they're talking about the supplement industry. Growing up, bodybuilding was always my passion and stuff. So I'm watching this video, and me being cocky and 21 years old, I'm thinking, well, fuck it. Hey, they can make a supplement in their kitchen. Why the hell can't I? So I log online to this website, and I order a bunch of these random-ass powders that were supposed to be like caffeine and random thermogenics, right? And I put them in this bowl, and I mix up the bowl, and I put them in these capsules, and I put the capsules in this god-awful container that I bought from the Container Store. Like, I swear to God, this thing was had to be for shampoo or something. It's terrible. And it's so bad, I printed off these labels, these sticky labels, from my home printer. And I was poor as hell growing up, so keep in mind, I'm 21 years old. I got a shitty printer. So these bottles and everything just looked god-awful. But, of course, I needed a place to sell this, and I needed a way to market it. So I had the IamFitness.net. I had the website, but I needed to drive people to that website. So I actually started using social media for that. And, since then, the last 10 years, I've sold a couple $1 million worth of products and services from social media without buy-sell groups, without marketplace, and without ads. So I took that content stuff and that organic stuff, and I kind of ran with it. if you will.
Right. And so what did you discover through using social media? Because now you've made a transition into coaching and helping other people sell shit. Well, I mean, what were some of the most important lessons that you could share with some of our listeners on what they could do to get better? And more importantly, I mean, this question's for me. Where are most of us fucking up in social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So I, like I said, 2008, 2009, I was doing a supplement and doing the personal training thing, and I had my website and driving traffic there. And throughout the years, I realized, and it started when I was hired on at LA Fitness back when I was 22, 23. I was fastest promoted director in the company at the time. It was before the Bailey's buyout. I remember because Bailey's was actually one of our competitors. But they hired us, and they gave us this link, and it was an affiliate link, and they said, hey, you know, anyone that uses this link to sign up, you get paid commission on. So me, it's no brainer. Well, shit, I got Facebook. I can push this link on Facebook. So again, and this ties into where people fucking up too, is I was spamming. Like I was pushing the link and it was working, right? But I was spamming. So one of the places where a lot of people fuck up is with the spamming, with understanding we don't sell on our post. Our post is there to create interest. And in fact, I even showed you this with the screenshot that I got yesterday and the social proof that I posted, and someone reaching out and saying, hey, David, I seen the post where you're helping this dude sell 70 cars. How can you help me? And if you notice, and if you look at this post...
I just want to point out real quick, 70 cars is a fuckload of cars.
That's
for
insane.
Someone to sell in a month.
That is insane.
Right, okay.
Like, absolutely nuts. But, so I posted that, and I just created the interest, and I just put up the value, and I relied on social proof. And if you have listeners that are readers, you have Robert Cialdini. He has the book Influence. He believes that there's 6 main factors that goes into influence and persuasion. And a lot of those factors I tie into Facebook. So tying into those factors with the post from yesterday, why I posted that post and a screenshot, I didn't do any sales shot on it. There's no sales verbiage. It's, hey, you know, I want to give a shout out to XYZ. I remember back when we first started working together, he said to me, David, I want to sell 30, then 40, then 50, then 60. And last month he hit 30, and this month he's on pace for 70. That's all I said. There's no sales verbiage, no nothing. But tying into what Robert Cialdini says with influence and negotiation, persuasion stuff, I had a few factors going for me. I had the likability, so all the people on my friends list, they like me, right? I had the social proof, so people want to fit in. People want to do what other people are doing. So here you have Josh, who's selling 50, 60, 70 cars a month, right? Absolutely killing shit. He invested in me. He's getting coaching from me. Now other people want to do that, so I'm relying on that. And then the other aspect of that post that was able to bring me money is the authority. Okay, I'm seen as this coach. I brand myself as this coach because I understand perception is reality, and I understand that if I tell you something, you're going to believe it hands down until proven wrong. Am I right?
Right.
So me sitting there telling everyone I'm coach, I am a god at social media, I can make you do X, Y, Z, and then them seeing, okay, hey, he's not joking, that creates the instant authority. So that's kind of me rambling on about how I was able to take one post and kind of convert it and to sell with it by not selling.
So this guy, he's going to sell 70 cars. What do things like this guy do that are creating a buzz on social media? I'm not guessing that he's posting every single fucking car he sells this month saying, hey, come see me, here's the car I sold. Hey, come see me, here's the car I sold. What do his posts look like that some of the listeners could get an idea of what their social media should look like as well?
Well, the very first thing to remember is you're not an order taker. And that applies to if you're sitting at your desk. It applies if you're sitting wherever, social media, the whole nine. If you're in sales, you're not an order taker. If you're going to take orders, go to McDonald's and stand behind the fucking counter. Like that's the bottom line. So for him and for a lot of the people that I work with that have tremendous success, they understand that it's reaching out to people. It's being proactive. It's taking that proactive response. And when you reach out to people, it's super, super simple. And if you're doing the right thing of gauging interest from your post, it makes it a no-brainer. But when you reach out to people, you want the greetings, the super simple introduction. Hey, Dan, Then you want the context. I made a post asking about what you would change about your current vehicle if you could, and you commented. Nice and simple. That's the context, right? Then you have the offer to help. Anyways, I noticed that you commented you would love all-wheel drive. Let me ask you, with all-wheel drive, are you looking at a sedan, an SUV, or a truck? So now I'm turning that into conversation. Now I'm providing an offer to help a solution to help, if you will. So that's the first thing, is just understanding that we're not order takers and you have to be reactive. Now, tying into the example of the post I just did. So what does his timeline look like? Yes, he is tagging the people that he's helping out because he's creating the social proof there. He's also creating buy stories. When you tag people, it not only appears on your friends list and their newsfeed now, right? But it appears on their timeline and appears on their friends' newsfeed. So now you're creating this compound effect. You're making a lot more people see your stuff. So he's doing that. He's creating social proof. He's doing the tags and stuff. But then he also has engagement posts. So this was prime example of what I just said. Super simple post. What would you change about your current vehicle if you could? Okay, what are you not happy with your current vehicle?
And what that does is gets people to respond to whatever you post, and it gives you an opportunity for that engagement.
Yeah, because it's behavior based. So many people I talk to, they'll sit down and be like, hey, I don't get it. I make posts, I do the lives, I do the videos, I do the XYZ, and people aren't calling, people aren't stopping in, people aren't doing whatever. And I tell people, well, chances are people are doing that. But unless you know who you're looking for, you don't know if your coworkers are skating them, if they're stealing that deal. You don't know XYZ. And then I remind people, well, you guys aren't order takers. Like, what are you doing to reach out to people?
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that, and that's the point, is the engagement. And whatever you do with your personal page, if you're not trying to sell shit, well, do whatever the fuck you want. But if you are in the sales position, it fucking drives me crazy when I see people post something and a lot of people comment, and then the person who made the post does not engage with any one of the comments. They just post and then disappear like a fucking ghost and just leave all that possible revenue, engagement, and the ability to build that relationship sitting there on the table.
It's not even the revenue, too. So for all my posts, whenever I have someone engaged, and I shouldn't say for all because I'm human and not perfect, but for most of my stuff, I am always liking their comment, right? Because that's adding weight to their comment. I am replying to their comment and tagging them, even if it's a simple emoji, the 100 emoji, heart emoji, hey, thanks, whatever, right? Because that's adding a comment and it's adding a tag. So right there, that's 3 actions that are adding more weight to the post. So when someone comments and they're adding weight to that post, do that stuff. Because then you're adding more weight to it and more people are seeing that post. To me, it's no brainer. It goes back to that compound effect. But with the posting and then the reaching out for people, or I guess kind of waiting around, waiting for people to come to you, right? That's the main thing that people are messing up on that drives me nuts the most. Like, it just blows my mind.
All right, dive into that a little bit. So tell us exactly what you're referring to.
Well, like I just said, with the people that will post and post and post, and then they wait for the people to come, they wait for the people to call them, they wait for XYZ. It drives me nuts because, like I said, we're not order taker. We're sales professionals. Now, as a sales professional, if you are sitting in a store, so if you are working at a retail establishment, right, and someone comes into your store, what are you going to do?
Greet them.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome to the store. How can we help you?
But why is that? It's behavior-based, right? They took a step into your store. They're showing commitment. They want to go into your store.
Right.
All right? So if I have this engagement post, what would you change about your current vehicle? XYZ, whatever, right? It's not even vehicle. You can do this about houses. You can do this about whatever industry you're in. But when you have this engagement post and you have someone that likes it, that comments, that does whatever, that's like that person walking into your store. It's very similar to you, like, all these comments and stuff that you sit down and you scroll and it's like wasted revenue. It's the same concept. That's behavior based. Like, that person just comments on it. That person is just like that. Why would he not assume that that person has more interest? They just invested that time. So very similar to, like I said, like you were saying, it's almost like it's wasted revenue right there. 2 things. When people aren't liking comments and adding more weight to the post by replying to the comments and creating that relationship. And then when people aren't actually reaching out and doing what they're supposed to, which is being proactive.
Right. So, yeah, I mean that's gold right there, and you're putting these posts out, and people want the engagement, and that's one of the reasons why Twitter, Instagram, and all these social media sites got so big, is because people had the opportunity to interact with celebrities and people of interest who they were interested in, and they were getting responses. And people were responding on Twitter. These big name celebrities responding to Joe Schmo out of Iowa.
So I said Ken Shamrock on my podcast, did a one-on-one interview with him, right? UFC Hall of Famer, future WWE Hall of Famer, like absolute superstar, right? Can you guess how I found him?
Probably engaged with him on a social media post somewhere.
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah, so I shit you not, this is the story. I don't watch modern day wrestling because it's boring as hell, right? And I just don't get it. I don't have time. I don't have cable. It just doesn't interest me. But I like nostalgia, and I like going back to the Attitude Era and the WCW Nitro days and the Monday Night Wars, right?
Right.
So I'll look on YouTube and look up some of that classic stuff, and Ken Shamrock popped up, and I remember Ken. Like, I absolutely love Ken. So I was like, that's cool. So I looked him up on Google because I'm an information guy. I love information. So it's like, oh, okay, well, what's he been up to? So I Google him and I find out, hey, he lives in Reno. So I was like, no shit. So I'm like, okay. So I reached out to his personal or to his business page, right? And shot him a super simple introduction, you know, and it's pretty much the same thing that I just told your viewers before. It had the intro, it had the context, then it had, you know, the conversation. Then I found his personal page, so I reached out to his personal page, and sure as shit, he replied back. I was like, oh, dude, this is so cool. So he gave me instructions to send this email to his site for his business manager to set it up. So I was like, all right, that's easy enough, no problem. So I do that. I don't hear back, and he's already engaged with me on his personal page. So, you know, I shoot him a couple more messages. He's like, oh, yeah, just email again. So I did it again, right? And I know his business partner's name, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm not hearing anything back. What is going on? So I decide, hey, I'm going to friend his business partner on Facebook too. So I reach out, I friend his business partner on Facebook. And I reached out to him. And he's like, yeah, well, email the site. So I went into my email, and I took a screenshot, and I shot a message back, and I was like, I did, twice, with the screenshot of the two emails I sent him. And this is all on Facebook too, so this is power of Facebook and connecting random people. So he's seen it, and, you know, he chatted, and sure as shit, like a week later, I had the interview set up. But that is all 100% from Facebook, which is absolutely nuts.
Right. I mean, that's awesome to get somebody of that caliber responding to you. And that, I mean, it really is the power of social media. So you offer and you help people build their social media platforms, and you help people build their business. Tell us about what you offer and where people can find you if they are looking for that sort of coaching and mentorship.
Absolutely. So I have a couple groups on Facebook. That's one of the easiest ways to find me. If you look up Sales Talk Uncensored, we have Sales Talk Uncensored featuring David Huffman and myself as our Facebook group. And we have our YouTube channel, and we have pretty much those are going to be the easiest ways to get a hold of me, because once you find those, like, links are to everywhere for everything else. Now, as far as the stuff that we offer, we do have our Sales Talk University, or Sales Talk Uncensored University. With Sales Talk Uncensored University, we have our self-study programs. Self-study programs, we focus on social media and how you can double your sales using Facebook without groups, ads, business pages, marketplace posts, none of that shit that you want, right? So we show you how to do content marketing and how to create this attractive character and get the clients that you want to work with to come to you. Now, beyond that, if you do sell real estate, if you are realtor specific, we also do offer social media management, and that covers posting on a few different platforms: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and some extras too. But the easiest thing is going to be look up the group, look up the YouTube channel, and then just shoot me a friend request once you find me. That's going to be the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'm super personable. I promise I look big and scary just like Dan, but I'm not.
We're not scary.
No, we're just big. We take blood space.
We're looking to help people out here. So Let me ask you this, and I'm not sure where this is going to fit into the podcast. We might cut and paste this question out, but how was it getting started, going full time into a social media business, basically a business where you're selling products? Was it easy? Did you just flow right into it and you were making thousands of dollars? Were there up and down months? Was it biting your nails, seeing if you're going to be able to pay your bills? I'm always curious about the journey that entrepreneurs take, and more or less the guts that they have to have, breaking off from that 9-to-5 job and going into a full commission or full sales position where there is no guaranteed paycheck. Or did you have to work 2 jobs? Did you have a guaranteed paycheck and do this shit on the side, hustling 16 hours a day?
So last summer, I was actually selling burgers, which is fascinating. So I did have that little part-time thing going on, as well as the real estate and the Sales Talk Uncensored. As far as starting with the social media, that was just tied in with sales. That was me and my mom, and this weird connection with understanding, hey, if my mom can find random dick on the internet, I could probably find someone to sell something to. Am I right? You're laughing, but it's true.
Well put, brother.
So, for me, and it ties back to having a ninth grade education and needing to make money and understanding, well, sales is probably my best option. And then I need to make sales. So I understood that it's my business from the get-go. And with my business, marketing and client and customer acquisition is my responsibility. So social media kind of always tied into my career, no matter what I sold, if it's furniture, if it's cars, if it's gym memberships. It is always my main form of marketing because it was easy and I understood it. So that's kind of how that started. Now with the Sales Talk Uncensored, I pretty much used the social media thing and marketed a lot on social media. And the opportunity came up to do an affiliate marketer for this car sales trainer. And most of my business came from social media because at that point I had a huge niche market. I was followed by a lot of car salesmen, a lot of salesmen, so it's no brainer. Okay, hey, I'm going to use this. Then a bunch of people started asking me about social media tricks. So instead of selling this 30 and 30 program and this car sales training, I started coaching a bunch of these car guys on social media tactics, which is fantastic because I have a couple hundred people I can get to try out different stuff and get instant feedback, like right there. So it took my techniques and everything else and my content to the next level. So I was focusing on the coaching, the training, all that fun stuff. And I left the guys with, I left Mark, I left the affiliate marketing stuff, and I thought, hey, I have enough content myself. I'm going to do this myself. This was like 2-3 years ago. And man, I was dumb as hell. Like I did not have the content that I thought I did. I had, I think, 12 pages of content written. Like it's just stupid. It's like 15-minute presentation. I'm thinking, oh man, like this is the most content ever. This is amazing. XYZ, and it wasn't. So I kind of put that on the back burner. I actually got my real estate license, which is how I met Dan. Decided, hey, I'm gonna try something different. And then last spring, I randomly found my business partner. Someone that could actually do the editing, someone that could do the funnel stuff, someone that could do a lot of stuff that I couldn't do at the time. Now I can do like a lot more of the stuff. So I found him and I started focusing on it, and I started writing a shit ton of content. I had about 50, 60,000 words written. It's a good amount of pages, and I had a collaboration meeting with somebody, and I wasn't planning on monetizing the content yet. I wasn't planning on selling it. I wasn't planning on coaching it. I just had it written up to produce and pretty much be written up. So I had this meeting for this collab project, and this guy printed it out, and it's 40, 50 pages. I'm like, that's cool as hell. So I took a picture, I put it on my Facebook, and next thing I know, I have 30 comments. Hey, I want that. Hey, how can I get that? Hey, how can you help me? And that was last spring. And, it's been I've definitely had it harder. Don't get me wrong. Like right now, I'm at a very good place. Like my business is scaling. Like everything's great. I pretty much launched a 6-figure social media. It's iceberg. Have you ever seen the iceberg meme?
Yeah.
Like it's by far
no guidance and direction until finally people see the success. Though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's always that freedom. So I want the ability to make money anywhere in the world. And I knew that, and that's a couple years ago, and if you look at it a couple years ago, back then I was doing the affiliate stuff, so because I seen the power of internet business model. So people see the business, the other shit. They don't see the wife that looks at you side-eyed when you have something new going on.
And it's even more devastating when they try to venture out on their own in some sort of entrepreneur. And I've heard all those things from several people, especially when I was getting into real estate. And you're going to make the changes. But yeah, there's a lot of negative.
I was brought up, and like I said, I couldn't talk till I was 5. I couldn't talk till I was 6. I made noises. That was it. Especially in business too. It never stops. That's the thing. When you try to do stuff, do it. So if they can sit down, if they can knock you down and kick you in the shin and make you fall over,
you're putting in long hours, and I don't want a lot of fucking time into this shit.
It's boring. This and I point this out. It's discipline. That is it. Like, success is discipline. Is getting up every single day. And like, I like money just because of really cool shit I can do with it. Like, that's what motivates me. Wake up, you knock out calls from 8 to 12, you knock out meetings. It's the same thing. It's a boring life.
I mean, people, I always watch this video of this guitar motherfucker, and he's just, the most brilliant guitar player you've ever seen online. And people are fucking clue how many hours this kid spent in a room come by and give you money. And that's entrepreneurship, and I think business in general.
It's a guy. I flat out told him, look, man, like, I refuse to take money from you. No matter what I do. And I'm like, there's a huge difference between what you do and what I do. And he's like, oh, why? Because in XYZ, yes, I'm sure my posts convert better. But one day, be like, hey, man, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Am I right?
No, not at all.
You had and to see your Starbucks addiction. They're like, hey man, I want
in an office with a closed door by myself with a headset on, talking to people who did not. Yeah, and people don't see that grind. And I'd love to point that out because it's just not the truth.
No, not at all.
Yeah, real estate is not as glorious and monotonous work that you're going to have to do
to
be successful. Yeah.
But real estate, it opened up and it showed me a bunch of holes I had.
Yeah, these kinds of jobs, man, they can humble you real fucking quick. If you
have a heck of a resume myself, but thankfully I was able to find the right mentors and find the right information of mentors.
Yeah, and having the right mentor model, there was nothing for me to look at to say, hey, this fucking works. This is what you.
I use a 6 iron now just because it goes straight.
I was totally iron off the tees. Is interested, give him a call. Or find you on Facebook.
Super simple. Just look up Sales Talk Uncensored on YouTube for our YouTube channel, and on Find Me, just look that up, and links directly to my account. A super, super nice guy sometimes.